Your Space Coast vacation is preparing for liftoff. Start counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's time for a beach vacay that feels like heaven. 6, 5, 4. Come explore Melbourne and the beaches. 3, 2, 1. It's time for some rocket-filled fun. Count down to your best beach vacation ever on Florida's Space Coast. Launch your planning now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.
J360 Radio.
Hello, J360 Legion, and welcome to a J360 Mini Bite, hosted by J.M. Brady. And I am your host, J.M. Brady. So let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? Here for episode 72 of the J360 Mini Bites, right here in the land of three counties, Delaware. And of course, you know, I'm J-Man. And hey guys, man, it's Christmas week, isn't it? Yeah, something big is gonna be happening on Friday, right? I don't know. See, I've been so busy lately, I've been losing track of days too. So, which is why I had to go ahead and make that promo up for you that you all heard about not too long ago. I'm sure there are people over in Virginia still wondering what the hell that noise was. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm glad. Because it's time to make noise. It's time to do some pretty exciting things. The stats for J360 Radio have been great. Matter of fact, the overall stats for J360 Productions have been good. I'm still working on J360 TV, though. I mean, you gotta figure this. Rome wasn't built in a day. What makes me think that I could do all of J360 TV in one day? You know what I'm saying? Even though at the same time, I've been at that for a while now. Because, see, the thing is, while you set up a network, you gotta make sure you have some programming on it. So, yeah, staying on it. But you know, 2021, that's the way like everything just ties together. And not to mention all the goals I have for it. But let's talk about the end of 2020. See, I know it's not really fashionable to talk about politics at a time like this, but $600, really? Like, yeah. Could you imagine, like, with all that back pay you have to pay and some of those things that a lot of us really need to get done? $600. Huh. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. It's a slap in the face. None of us planned for this. A lot of us are trying to survive and get by this. Do the right thing. Wear our mask and all. And you mean to tell me $600? Yeah, I expect a little bit more than that. But you know, once again, think about who's in charge. A bunch of misers that are in charge on this. And I know some of y'all have more concrete evidence about how dangerous it can be to overspend and stuff, but, you know, what is a nation when its people are not behind the nation? You understand what I'm saying? It's little things like that. It makes you think sometime. Like, really pay attention to what's going on. Now, I know, like, you know, we should be enjoying and we should be celebrating, like, the winter, it's wintertime now, because the first day of winter just happened. And it was something beautiful that happened not too long ago. It was, like, the combination of Jupiter and Saturn for a little while. Like, I didn't get to see it, unfortunately, but little things like that, you know, if I knew in advance, I would have been right there prepared to watch it, because I love space, man. Like, especially when it does cool stuff. Even the ocean, when it does what it, you know, multiple different forms of it, it just keeps me, there's just something magical about it, and it's romantic, you know, it sets the mood just right. Whew. And indeed, we could all use some better mood setting around here. But, you know, it's just little things like that just kind of irks me, but there is still something pleasurable about life. All right, like 2020 has been a bust. Let's just put it that way. It's been a bust. But on some circumstances that it has been kind of interesting in terms of like how we all managed to survive, how we managed to live to that term of keep calm and carry on. And as looking back on it, you know, there have been some hilarious moments. Not outside of the COVID, there's been some hilarious moments. Think about it. Like, some of the circumstances that we all had to deal with, but we made the best out of it and we made it funny. Or like some of the entertainers out here that finally got their shot because, you know, people were actually listening to the independents and all. Like, one way or another, there has been some good in addition to a whole lot of evil. And you might disagree with me on some of it, but one day you'll look back and you'll know, like, some of the things have changed a lot. And it just goes to show that we can make improvements when the emergency calls for it. But some of us have to be willing to make those changes. See what I'm saying? Little things like that. But I do know this much, speaking of changes, regarding the people that are going to get their new consoles, their new systems on Christmas, from Santee, I see. And they'll be sitting there waiting for all their stuff to download right on it. You know, isn't it amazing? Like, years ago, like if you're like me and you're in your 30s, you can remember the days like when you got your new gaming console on Christmas and you just popped your video game in and you played it. And that was like your world there for at least most of the day until you had to go to Christmas dinner or whatever the event was being held at. That's what it used to be like for me. But nowadays you see it like modern kids are sitting there waiting for their stuff to download and update and all when they really just want to jump in and play. And it's like, yeah, didn't happen in my childhood, pal, but your childhood is this is your childhood, all right. You learn patience. Yeah, you know, that's interesting though, because like, here you are, we're knee deep in the future, and you see how impatient people can be, but when it comes to like waiting for that PlayStation or that PC or whatever to do what they got to do, even though PCs are pretty quick when it comes to updating. Well, at least mine is. I don't know. I can't speak for some of y'all out there, but I do know that mine's is pretty fast. But just like, little things that make you think sometime. Of course, it took a lot of modifications to make that damn thing fast, I'll tell you that. But, I mean, it's just like little things. Like, when we're going into Christmas right now, it's just exciting. Now, here's my thoughts on the Holiday Fest. Yeah, I know. It hasn't been as consistent as the Monster Fest was. But, you know, let me tell you this. I just created the Holiday Fest this year. You know what I'm saying? I do have big plans for it. And whatever I didn't get done this year, of course, you know, I'm going to go ahead and times that by 5 and get it done on a very, very larger scale. And, you know, one way or another, it's like this. I'll have this all set up, just like I'll have the Monster Fest set up for next year. I'm all ready to go for this season when it comes back around again. And, of course, you know, hey, at that point, if all goes well, I could be over there in the West Coast partying with you guys live. And wouldn't you guys love that? I would, too. So, I'm doing what I got to do to work on that for y'all. One way or another, we're gonna make up for lost time. So, you know, and in addition to all the hope I have for 2021, I mean, like, 2020 ending it off, it's just, but, you know, I still got my holiday cheer, and one way or another, I did what I said I was going to do. I was going to go ahead and give you guys awesome shows. And speaking of the shows, I mean, the J-Man Show Christmas Special 2020 is happening tomorrow. So I'll talk about some of the things that I did cover in the Holiday Fest. And then, of course, you know, we have... Wait, it isn't even Jams Week this week, huh? Well, you know, since we don't have anything happening at that time, don't show up here on Friday at 10. That's next week. New Year's Day is Jams 14. That's when we are going to break in the new year. We're going to party up. At that point, I like to think that most of y'all will be sober. Then you can go ahead and have a bunch of festivities with me again, and we can enjoy ourselves because guess what? The day after is Saturday, and you know you just want to chill out at that point. So yeah, we're going to party up. Why not? And you know, here's the beautiful thing. With 2021, all these days that were on Friday this past year, they're on Saturdays next year. So one way or another, hopefully this is a cleanup year. And if we can get that curve down a lot, we'll be back to doing what we need to do in no time. But here's the thing. We can't do it the same way we used to. We got to be clean. And I mean really clean. Not hand sanitizer clean. I mean clean. And then we got to go ahead and respect each other's space. But at the same time, just be a lot more healthier about it. All right, that way so we don't go ahead and bring this crap back, because I think we've already had enough fun for 12 months. So it's just like little things like that. And so far, so good. I hope you guys are actually finding some joy of the season. Believe it or not, I'm sitting back looking at some stuff on Tubi, too. Tubi's got some interesting things, man. Like, I was sitting there looking at a bunch of crap on the Monster Fest. And then here we are, knee-deep in Christmas. And then there's more horror movies up on the lineup, in addition to some that take place during Christmas time. Like this one called, it's called Ice, I want to say Ice Apocalypse, but it's not Ice Apocalypse. It's Ice-tastrophe. Not bad. It deals with a meteor that's crashing down into a rural mountain town, because that's usually where it happens, and then crashes right over in there, and then it just reverses the Earth cycle, and it makes all the ice just come up and attack people from different areas, and then the people just fall apart and fade away. It's definitely B-movie, but it's that good kind of B-movie that you would get on a Saturday if you were watching the Sci-Fi Channel. And it takes place during Christmas time, so that counts. I don't know why people debate about this. Hell, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie. Batman Returns is a Christmas movie. And then so on and so forth. As king of this sector of the Podverse, I declare that law. Christmas law. If it happened on Christmas, it is a Christmas movie. Deal with it accordingly. If Jaws took place on Christmas, that would be hilarious to watch, but I would consider it a Christmas movie. You know, I mean, why not? I mean, it's entertaining. It's something for the people out there that are action junkies. I mean, at the end of the day, let's just bring all that in. And those that are out there complaining, like some people do complain about Batman Returns. I've seen more complaints about Batman Returns nowadays than I've seen about the original Batman growing up. You know? It was unnecessarily dark. Well, quite a lot of things were in Batman's universe. What's your point? You know what I'm saying? Of course, a lot of people say it because of that scene where I think the Strong Man was there and Batman used the bomb and made him blow up. Which is like, hey, it goes against Batman's one rule. See, at one time, you took liberty with Batman's one rule. Whereas nowadays, people hold that like a cardinal sin. And I'm like, I guess maybe because of Arkham, the Arkham games, like you never really killed anybody. You just knocked them out or you just detained them somehow. Like, yeah, I get that. But you know, like, if you look at the source material a lot deeper, that one rule just came about a little bit later. Because Batman didn't take no... Shoot, Batman even used a gun at one time. Let's just be real. And I'm not talking about his grapnel gun. But of course, you know, some people, they'd be like, oh, well, you know, it's called character evolution, Jay. It's called, you're just throwing around your fandom. And when I say fandom, I mean fandom. One of them kind of things to think about. But I love Batman Returns, though. I mean, I don't like it as much as, like, the first Batman movie, but I thought it was a nice follow-up. I still don't understand how the Penguin and his goons were able to hack the Batmobile, though. I thought that was kind of... How did they do that? Well, then again, she had a jammer, right? Whatever. I'll look at the movie again. Who knows? I'll probably go ahead and watch it and riff it with you. Come on, it deserves it. I'll riff any of those movies. You know this. And by the way, I think some of y'all are about due for me to come back to doing that. Especially on the IG. I would totally do it on YouTube, but YouTube is not exactly a open space like it used to be. Damn TOS. And speaking of TOS, I don't really like what they're doing on Instagram either. So, oh, by the way, I think some people out there, they are in Europe, and I tried to send the link to J360 Radio to them, and it wouldn't let me follow through on that, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. Spreaker.com/J360 Radio if you guys want to tune in and listen to some of my shows. And not only that, like, email me, J360productions@outlook.com. And, you know, just stay together here, because I don't really understand whether it's like Instagram's whole thing or if it's like the terms of services that's going on or the European Union coming up with different things. I really don't know. And it's weird to me because it's counterproductive as hell. Like, one way or another, we're supposed to be connected now, you know? So this counterproductive crap, I'm just not cool with it. And if anything, I really shouldn't be aiming at Instagram. I should be aiming at its parent company, Facebook, because Facebook's been like doing this evil empire crap for a long time. But hey, that's story for another time. I want you all to have a good Christmas. If you ain't going to tune into the J-Man Show tomorrow, all shows happen at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I want you to take it easy. This is the J-Man signing off. Peace.
Your Space Coast vacation is preparing for liftoff. Start counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's time for a beach vacay that feels like heaven. 6, 5, 4. Come explore Melbourne and the beaches. 3, 2, 1. It's time for some rocket-filled fun. Countdown to your best beach vacation ever on Florida's Space Coast. Launch your planning now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.